Michael lives in Thorold, Ontario, Canada. He has great family and professional life and got everything he wanted in life. He has been a good player of many games from his childhood. A professional coach, a professional journalist and newspaper editor, and a professor. Most importantly, he is very kind to all the people and always tries to be first responder for any help. He has been enjoying being kind in all situations and helping individuals and communities in his professional and personal life. He is true and busy philanthropist and has many stories to share where he could help change life of others. We are sharing only 3 stories in this first part. Rest of the stories will be shared in the next video.
I remember back when I was my early days of being a professor, and again at the college level, just like at the university level, students come in all ages. It's not like high school where certainly students in grade 9, 10, 11, 12 are of a certain age. At the university college level, students can be of any age. So again, I had students as young as 18, as young as 55, even 60 years old. Many times I was not the oldest person in the class. I had students who were older than myself. I remember in particular, one year I had a student, a woman, I know she was a mother. I know she had a couple children because she had told me so. And she wanted to come back to school to become a writer. Her goal had been to become a writer. So her first step was taking my writing course. And she worked really, really hard. This was a 15-week course. And she was there every day for the first 2 or 3 weeks. And then she was coming sporadically. She'd come once and then miss a couple days, and then come a day and then miss a couple more days. And she kept up with most of her work, but I could see that something was wrong because her work did start to tail off a bit. She wasn't completing assignments. So I took her aside after one class and just asked her, again, it's very hard teaching. You don't want to get too personal because it's a teacher-student relationship, so you don't want to butt into their lives in any way. But I did ask her if there was anything wrong and if there was anything I could do, as a teacher to make it easier for her. And she actually broke down and told me she had been dealing with cancer and wasn't sure if she'd even be able to finish the course. So that really threw me for a loop. That was the first time I'd ever had to deal with something like that. So I said I would work with her to do whatever we could do. She continued to struggle. She wasn't able to write the final exam. She wasn't able to complete all the assignments, but I talked to my manager and said I wanted to make an exception in this case where final marks are to be in 2 weeks after a course ends. That's it. So if someone doesn't do an assignment or the final exam, they'd be automatically given an F, a failing grade. And I wanted to make an exception in this case. So I talked my manager into extending the grace period for this particular student so that they could finish what they set out to do. So we actually pushed it back about 6 months. Thankfully, she did go into remission. She was able to complete her assignments she had missed. She was able to do the final exam, and she was able to pass the course. Actually, she got a grade of A, which is fabulous. And she was very, very grateful. And a few years later, I did get a email from this person who had gone on and actually had started a career as a writer, as a freelance writer. So that was one incident that was where I bent the rules, but I bent the rules for all the right reasons, and it was really heartwarming to be able to do that. I remember a time, again, back when I was coaching children. In this case, it was soccer, and the age group, they were 8 and 9-year-olds. And my son was on that team. And we had about 12 children on that team. And we started out, and right from the get-go, there was one child on the team who just didn't seem focused. He just didn't seem to be paying attention. when I'd be coaching and we'd be doing our drills, and he didn't want to participate, or while we were running drills, he'd be off to the side looking at something, I don't know what. And I was trying and trying to get through to him, and nothing I could do was actually working. So I did approach his parents after one of the practices and just said, is there something I can do? I'm not getting through to your son. And they told me that he had a learning disability that I was completely unaware of. And that's the first time I ever had to deal with something like that. So I read up on how to deal with a child in that situation, because again, it's an individual child. So you have to teach to him, but he's in a team environment. So I did a lot of research on how to teach children with a learning disability, and I have no professional experience in that whatsoever. But I did a lot of research. I talked to some people who did have professional experience, and I learned quickly how to deal with this young fella. And what also was important, that the team knew, because again, you have a group of 8 and 9 year olds, and they see some child misbehaving, they just think he's a bad child. They just think, they don't understand what a learning disability is. They just think he's acting up and causing trouble. And it wasn't his fault. That was his disability, was that he couldn't focus. And what appeared to be causing trouble was just him not being able to pay attention. So with the permission of all the other parents, I let the children know that we had to deal with this situation. And it really turned into a teamwork exercise, because once they understood why he was behaving the way he was, they went out of their way to help him. And the turnaround in him was amazing. He felt like he was part of the team. He was enjoying when he would be on the sidelines waiting his turn to go on the field. And if he was being distracted by something else, they would huddle around him and bring him back and try to focus him on what was going on the field. And that particular year, we had a tremendous team. Again, this is just minor league sports. We had a 22-game season. We actually finished the year at 20 wins and no losses. First time I've ever coached a team that never lost a game. And in our final game of the year, this boy was on the field, and he had never scored a goal. He had never got a point or an assist throughout the year. I let the rest of the team know that in that game, whether we would win or lose that game, he was to get a goal, that they were to work. Instead of taking a shot themselves, they were to work to get the ball to him, to put him in a position where he could score a goal. And it was incredible. It was, I wish someone back then had taken a video of that final game, because these 8 and 9 year old boys worked relentlessly as a team to set him up every opportunity. And very near the end of the game, and we were well ahead in the game, just because we were the much better team, he finally scored a goal. And we celebrated, I'm tearing up now, we celebrated as a team like we'd won the world championship. Everybody, it was amazing. The parents were cheering and crying, and this little boy was the happiest little boy in the world. So I hope to this day that that's something that he remembers, and certainly something that the rest of the boys on that team remember, because it was a true joyous occasion. Saw an opening for a crossing guard, and I applied for that. At the same time, I saw on the website there was an opening on a committee. It was called the Age Friendly Committee for the City of Thorold, and they were looking for new members. So I put my name in to that. And just around the time I received the good news that I would become a crossing guard, I also received the good news that I was going to be a member of the Age Friendly Committee. So it was approximately the same time. It was November of 2021 that I started, both as a crossing guard, which is just part-time. It's 3 days, 3 times a day, morning, noon, and afternoon, 5 days a week. And I love it. I'm, again, with children, helping them get across the street, talking to them every day, and their parents. And it's really joyful. It's not like a job at all. I truly enjoy it. And basically, that's it. I've kind of lived a life of helping others and trying to impart any wisdom I have. I think any day that goes by that I don't learn something new is a wasted day. I always say, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be something trivial, but I like to go to bed every night knowing something. And again, it can be very small, but something that I didn't know the day before. That shows that there's value in what I'm doing. And again, now as a crossing guard, I will get Christmas cards from the kids. The homemade ones are the best. Just thanking me for getting them across the street safely, which is what I do. That's what I get paid for. But the fact that they acknowledge it is terrific. So anyways, there's a lot of kids at my crossing, and they've gotten to know my name. I know their names. We always talk about how was your day, or how was your night, or how was your weekend. Well, there's this one little boy. His name's Theo, and every day he comes with a paper in his hand, and what he's done is he's colored me a picture. And every day, without fail, he hands me this picture that he's colored. It could be a superhero, or it could be a dog, or a horse, or a unicorn, or a monkey, or it doesn't matter. And he's colored it in a hurry. He's very young. He's about 4 years old. And it's just a true joy. So I have a huge collection of these, and he does it without fail every day. And he seeks me out. So if I'm across the street and he's on the other side of the street, he will wait for me to come back to my side of the street to hand me the coloring, the drawing.